Howdy, and welcome back everybody. Today's a video that my friends on Tumblr voted for, which is Life of a Coydog, episode 1. So, in this first episode, it's going to follow the same pattern as my Life of a Dragon series, where I'm going to talk about how I awakened. So, this is kind of crazy how, the day it's falling on, but we're actually nearing my 2-year awakening anniversary, where I first realized that I was alter human. So I'll probably talk about that too, because it does relate to how I awakened as a Coydog. At first, I just thought that I was a coyote. I didn't see the domestic elements inside of me, so I was just exploring what these were, and I didn't even really know what Coydogs were at the time. So, this is kind of embarrassing, but where I actually first learned the word Therian, and what kind of sparked me doing more research into the community, it was Animal Jam. I was playing it because I had gotten a wave of nostalgia 2 years ago and wanted to play it again. And I saw a group that was like, Therian pack, like in the pack things, that function. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what that means, and I feel like I've seen it somewhere, because I probably had seen it at least somewhere. So I kind of looked it up, and I was obsessed. I was like, I need to know everything. I need to know every kind of shift, every kind of alter human label. I need to know all of these things. And at first, I didn't realize that I was alter human. I was just really curious, and it felt like some of the experiences were speaking to me, but I was like, ugh, there's no way that I could be a Therian, though. I remember, first getting into, Therian talk and, watching the compilations on YouTube. My cringe era, it continues. And seeing the harpy hair duets and the quads jumps in slow-mo. To be clear, I don't think any of the cringe aspects are wrong inherently. My only gripe with the TikTok-ification of therianthropy is the watering down of identities, which beings have talked about ad nauseum already. So slowly I was like, well, I'm definitely not a wolf. Just not my thing. I would not be that. But I feel like I am canine, and that was really my first thought process there. I was like, I don't feel like a person in the same way that I feel like I should. I feel like a dog. And to be honest, the more I looked back into my childhood, the more that I saw this. And even hearing stories about this from my family members, of how I always was super obsessed with animals, especially dragons, which we'll get, eventually I ended up being one, and how I always drew myself with wolf ears and a tail, how I would play pretend as animals and not as people. And me looking at that now, I'm like, yeah, that was definitely me just being super expressive about my non-humanity, but not having the words for it, and having it just chalked up to play pretend. I think one of the best ways to explain kind of my awakening process in this video is to read you journal entries from several different points in my life. So I'll read you my first one from my very first, alter human dedicated notebook. So look at my tail! I have a tail! I just finished it, and so I'm wearing it. Oh, this is where I wrote, the different vocabulary pages and stuff. I'm distinctly canine. I've always felt close to dogs, they'll understand me when I can't understand myself. Often people comment on my canine behaviors or general vibe, even before I awakened. Canines, specifically dogs, are also very emotionally sensitive, like I am. I also have 24/7 phantom ears that I unconsciously turn towards sounds, which comes from me being able to, move my ears, wiggle my ears. I'm surprised I didn't realize sooner. As a kid, I played pretend as an animal, or semi-animal character, and drew my persona with a tail and ears ever since I had created it. I even did quads to represent my physical shape, because in the games, I wasn't Blue the human, I was something else entirely. I'm realizing how many signs there were when I was a kid, and how psychologically weird my therianthropy is. I think I'm done pretending to be something that I'm not. So, that was my first kind of getting into it. I don't realize quite that I was a coyote yet, but I was pretty sure. So, like the little scientist I am, I did research. This is one thing I think that doesn't get done enough by newer and younger Therians in the community, is actually researching what their kin type is like. I just don't get how you're supposed to completely confirm something if you don't even know what the species behavior is like. One thing that really helped me a lot was, first, this blog Coyote Yips, which presents lots of great videos, sound clips, and articles on coyote behavior in, I think, San Francisco. So, love them, go check it out. But also, this book by Dan Flores, Coyote America. I really love this book. I had a lot of fun reading it. It goes really well into, pretty much everything you can think about for coyotes in terms of history, mythology, and behavior. I just feel really closely aligned with coyotes both as a symbol and also as an animal. However, as I started doing more digging, I was like, oh, I must be a Pacific Northwest coyote because I have darker coat colors and a little bit longer fur. Hence this mask, which is a little bit dated right now. And also just because Pacific Northwest is my heart home. But then I got a girlfriend. And I started experiencing behaviors that I hadn't really noticed before, where I have, kind of a more domestic canine-like attachment, and started feeling more domestic feelings. Not quite how, relatively similar to how coyotes who are tamed act, but not quite. I felt a little bit less wild, right in that kind of gray area. And I just felt like my coat colors weren't quite right. They weren't quite coyote. I wasn't, I'm a little bit bulkier than a coyote would be. And I was also starting to question German Shepherds. As a fiercely loyal breed, and as, strong and kind of wolfy looking, I felt really tied to that, especially in a gender way. I was like, oh, I'm not a boy, I'm a German Shepherd, kind of thing, I was like, that's my gender. And I realized, oh, that's because I'm a Coydog. I'm part coyote and part German Shepherd. Boom. That's what I look like. That's what I act like. And figuring that out was really awesome because then I feel like I could actually engage in my domestic feeling experiences that previously I've been kind of repressing and or not being happy about because I felt like it invalidated my identity as a coyote. And here is a journal entry from that time period. It's been very nice to embrace my domesticity with my recent realization of being a Coydog. I used to feel invalidated by my domestic thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, since not even captive-born or tamed coyotes display the same behaviors that I do. I didn't want to push this part of myself away, but I felt less valid. Figuring out that I'm a coyote mix opened up so many more self-expression doors for me, and I feel more assured of my identity than I have ever been. Being able to express these domestic feelings with my girlfriend has been so rewarding, but also engaging my wilder instincts has never felt so right. And as a little treat, here are some cute sketches of me and her. And this drawing is something I'll get into in my later videos. So that's it for today's video, really. It's been amazing being in the ultra-humane community for now 2 years, and I just can't appreciate enough, the different beings who have helped me figure out my identity along the way, and for the friends I made through this identity. I love being a Coydog. I love being canine. I love expressing those behaviors and feeling like myself. I think it's worth it, if any of y'all are questioning, to look into it. It could open up so many doors for you in figuring out how you feel and who you are. Anyways, the trajectory for the next few videos is that my next video, I'm going to talk about shifts. So this will include my physical shifts that I experienced because of the skin type. And then my last video, what am I going to talk about? I'm going to go into ways that I express this in my everyday life. So a little bit different trajectory to my Vera Fury videos because my last video explained how I figured out what I look like. And that was kind of already explained in this video because it's my awakening process. But yeah, I'll explain more of how do I actually express this type, especially since I think it'll be helpful to those who have other canine stereotypes, since there's a lot of just mouse and tail content and not literally anything else on here. So anyways, I wish you all a great evening. You can see the sun has been setting on me. And I'll see you next time. Bye!